On this episode of We're No Damn Experts, we have a treat for our listeners as we do an episode swap with the Last Best Conversation.
Best damn podcast, the best damn town. You wanna get up, get ready to get down. With its big wide sky and the wild river Thames. If you wanna go, we can take you there. To Great Falls, Montana.
Welcome to the greatest damn town in Montana, Great Falls. I'm Rebecca Ingham.
And I'm Maricela Hazard. And today we have a guest on our podcast who is a local musician, business extraordinaire, and a fellow Great Falls, Montana podcaster, Joe Ryan.
That's right.
He is from the Last Best Conversation podcast.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Of course. So tell me everything about it. When did it start?
It started over the summer. A friend of mine from car sales, we had sold cars 10 years ago at the Dodge place just down on 10th. I saw or heard him on the radio, and I was like, oh, he's doing some cool stuff. So I got a hold of him. We had coffee, and it just turned out that he was wanting to start a podcast.
Okay.
And he was looking at doing things with... he wanted to interview people that were doing motivating things. And so he had named it Get After It.
Okay, I like it.
Right? And
I like people that get after it.
That's right. So we were talking to people that were getting after things, and we just noticed that, well, we while we like that, that's maybe not our thing. So maybe we'll just like open it up to anybody that's interesting. And we live in Great Falls, Montana, so there are going to be a lot of Great Falls type of people.
That are interesting.
That are interesting. And Bryan is more on the hunting, outdoorsy type of side of things, and I'm more on the nightlife, entertainment, musician sort of things. And so we kind of balance each other in that.
We're going to let our listeners in on a little secret. Bryan's not here.
Nope.
Nor is Rebecca. But I did edit her in the beginning just so we didn't throw her off.
See, we're like getting it. We're getting after it.
So you guys rebranded to the Last Best Conversation. And what we want to do for this New Year's Eve release or episode is to swap some content, to share with you an episode from the Last Best Conversation so you can see what other artists and creators are doing in this amazing damn town. They have interviewed businesses like Roadhouse Diner, who Tara and Jason. Tara was on Guys Grocery Games, won it making a burger. And now she has a burger place. So how is the Last Best Conversation different than We're No Damn Experts?
Oh, well, one of the things is the name of our podcast is not as good as yours. That's one thing. If you listen to a couple of our podcasts, I think I bring it up a lot. I'm like, and it's like I have this fun. I call it it's not quite a rivalry. You know, I'm just like, darn it, why didn't I think of such a cool name? I mean, it's right there.
It's right there.
Great Falls. It falls over a dam. It was all there.
I'm going to share this content with you, with Joe and Bryon, who have the guests Tara and Jason from Roadhouse Diner now. If you have any questions about this episode, feel free to visit we'renodamnexperts.com or give me a call at 406-761-4436.
Hey, friends. It's good to see you again.
I'm Bryan.
And I'm Joe.
Let's start the show. Episode 51 coming in hot.
51. It's coming in really hot, spicy.
Yeah, actually, super hot and spicy. I'm feeling it in my mouth hole.
We're coming at you from the Roadhouse Diner here in Great Falls, Montana, where we just sampled some Widowmaker bacon.
World-renowned Roadhouse Diner.
World-renowned.
I'm not trying to correct you like right off the bat, but
didn't feel like it. It felt like you were trying to improve.
Just a quick announcement. If you're finding this on the Get After It podcast for a little while, a couple episodes, we're going to continue to upload here just to send you over to our new channel where we'll have every episode uploaded there as well. It just wouldn't let us rename as we rebranded, so we're going to have to move everything over. So come find us at Last Best Conversation.
Yes, where all the conversations are going to be the last best thing you ever heard. Well, I'm working on that byline. I'm not sure if that's going to... Did that feel good?
That felt good. Yeah, it felt good. Let's get down to business.
All right, we have some very special guests. Thank you guys for joining us today. Tara and Jason, owner-operators and otherwise
Creators, inventors.
creative wizards here at the Roadhouse. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
we
you.
are. We are burger wizards.
And crazy. And you never know what we're going to say or do or create.
Beef alchemy. Yes,
It does turn into gold once you grind it up and then put it in a burger.
it does. People really like it, so we're very happy with it. And yeah, everybody enjoys all our fun creations and things that we do like that. So
Well, yeah, I know I do. Go ahead.
So if you're outside of Montana, this is one of the coolest restaurants I've ever been in. It's like a log cabin style. How would you guys describe like the?
yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. Kitschy's not the right word. It has its own unique personality. It's a log cabin. It used to be a walk-up bar that you would come and order ice cream, and then at one point the owner decided that he wanted to have seating, so he added on this patio part and then put a roof on it and kind of kept the log cabin theme going. So it's got this low ceiling, but it's just got this kind of old funky vibe to
Right.
it. You know?
Plus, I'm going to interject. We have customers who enjoy going to the bathroom because they claim it's a museum in there with all the artwork. So check out the bathrooms at the Roadhouse Diner.
This place is special. This place is special all the way over. I was just looking at it as you guys were talking because we're kind of sitting where the addition would have been added, and I see there's this type of log and wood, and then over here there's this type of lighter kind of wood, and it reminds me of growing up in the valley out there in Sun River and Vaughan, where you'd have like a house or a mobile home, and then another mobile home just like stuck on it. And so now they've got a bigger addition.
Yeah, and then the roof lines don't match, you know, because they're like, well, let's just kind of angle it this way. and
Right.
That's
right.
good enough.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good enough.
But you know, in this day and age, you can't rebuild that kind of character. So that's why this place is so fun. And you know, you can look up and see the brands on the ceiling behind us, and they did woodwork and stuff. And I mean, they just kind of, the original owners added their own little personality to it. And when we first were looking at buying the building, I just thought, man, you can't manufacture, you know, just the uniqueness of the architecture and just the little things that they did to it. And it managed to be preserved, you know, through all the different kind of owners that were here. So we had a lot of fun just trying to bring that back and showcase it.
Well, we even have, when you come in the front door, people that have worked here in the past have their initials. So look at the floor when you first come in as well.
Yeah.
So like you mentioned the brands. I've eaten here a bazillion times. I've never noticed the brands in the ceiling.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
I've never
Right?
noticed any signatures on the floor. So now like I have like little what are they called when they're hidden in the movie?
Yeah, Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little
Easter
Easter
eggs.
eggs all over the restaurant
Yes.
to try to find. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Now, this building is uniquely Great Falls, which is really cool because Great Falls kind of suffers from a self-image problem. Because I think we're cool, I think we're totally awesome in Great Falls, but other people kind of don't agree with me. They're kind of jealous of Bozeman and Missoula with all the cool stuff they got going on. But this is one of the restaurants that I like to highlight to people because of the history, because it's uniquely Great Falls.
Yeah, and it's it's farther away from, you know, the downtown area, which they've done a really good job with, and trying to bring that back and bring some of that historical stuff. But there's not a lot of stuff outside the downtown area, and we like to consider ourselves one of those buildings that is just off the beaten path. But we're kind of like taking care of the building to make sure that 50 years from now, this log cabin's still a log cabin, not torn down and something else put in its place. And so.
Well, and when you were describing like the first people, you know, when they made it with the walk-up bar and then they added on, I was just assuming because it's kept like all of this originality to it that you guys were just the next owners after that. But there's been a couple of them, so that's.
We've
That's
actually met all
unique.
of the people who either worked here or own this building too. So it's
Really?
really neat. Yes. And we have an original picture when the man was first walking by. So over by the register, you're going to see that used to be a window there. And
Right,
he was
right.
walking right past that window when they were just building it. It was really neat.
Oh, that's pretty
Whoa,
sweet.
that is cool.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, people come in and they either drive by or they're back in Great Falls or whatever. They go, oh, I used to work there. And we had a lady, and she was a waitress, and her husband also worked here. I don't know if he was a cook, but they ended up meeting here and staying together. And I mean, this was 40 years ago.
Holy
you know,
moly.
and so they both came in, and that's the one that Tara was talking about, that they had etched their names into the brick. You know, when they were dating,
Right,
you know,
right.
and they came back and it's still there. And I mean, it's just, that's kind of the fun part about the historical aspect of the building.
Well, I remember the day that this lady came in and she was so sweet. She's like, I used to work here. She goes, are the bathrooms still located outside? I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a treat for you. They are now indoors. Follow me.
Wow.
Right.
Do I
Yeah.
still have to go outdoors?
Yeah, no
Yeah.
more outdoor bathrooms here.
I couldn't comprehend the fact that they had this restaurant and the bathrooms were outside.
Oh
Right.
my
And then,
gosh.
you know, we've talked to previous owners who, you know, the dish pit and back where you do the dishes, you had to walk outside and walk around and come back in. And I mean, it was just crazy. And then the previous owners before us had kind of connected everything and put everything, you know, so it was inside. But I thought, man, outdoor bathrooms like 15 years ago, that's bizarre.
Yeah.
And being like a dishwasher with wet hands in -30.
Oh, yeah.
Then going out to like,
Walk around to use the other door to come back inside.
And it still seems like they have like good memories of working here. They don't come here and go, "Oh, I used to work here in this dump." Ugh.
Yeah.
I hated that. No, they're like, "Oh, I loved it here. Yay!" Like,
Right.
but you had to go pee outside. That's so this is the Wild West. I kind of love that.
Well,
Yeah.
at least it wasn't a tree, I guess.
That's
and
true.
how did you guys get your start? Because like you weren't Roadhouse somewhere else. It was just, it's only been here.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, what's the origin story, guys?
Yeah.
Okay,
Give us
lay it
an
on
origin
us.
story.
Well, I was going to
Yeah,
start
I was gonna
actually.
say, I'll let Tara
I'm going to
start with that.
start because Jason was talking, I mean, since I've met him, about how he wanted to own a restaurant and blah, blah, blah. And I worked as an ER nurse. And, you know, when you work in the ER, you see a lot of things you can never unsee. And you out there know what I'm talking about. And so one day I came home and I told him, I said, hey, we're going to go to this building here. Because he always talked about this building when we drive on the one-way. This is a very popular one-way on 15th Street North, right?
That's right.
So we drive up here, and he goes, what are we doing? I'm like, well, we're going to buy this building. He's like, what? I said, oh, yeah, you're going to make your dream come true. I'm going to help you. We're going to do this.
Whoa.
And now I'm going to let Jason take over.
That's
Yeah.
how you got revealed? Like, you got driven here, and she was
Yeah.
like, well, here we are. Your
Yeah.
dreams are about to come true, buddy. So what'd you do?
Yeah, I had been studying restaurants. My grandfather owned Young's Cafe, which is where Bert and Ernie's is now. And actually, if you'd been to Bert and Ernie's before they closed, you'd see a big Young's Cafe sign hanging up in Bert and Ernie's. That
do remember that.
Yeah, and so that was my grandfather's restaurant. And so I kind of grew up wanting to do the restaurant industry. And I mean, I spent high school and college working in restaurants and stuff. So I always knew at some point, and then I worked at an ad agency. So my big thing that I always told myself is someday I'm going to quit computers and start flipping hamburgers, because it would be those frustrating days that IT guys or design guys or advertisers, everybody who works in front of the computer just throws their hands up and says, I'd rather be flipping burgers.
I've said that before.
Yeah.
Well, most people flipping burgers go, I can't wait till the day I'm working on computers.
Yeah.
You know, just sitting behind a
Yeah,
desk.
yeah, exactly.
It's definitely like the opposite that you usually hear.
Yeah. So driving by this place, I mean, I drove by this place all the time because we lived in Riverview. So we would drive by, and I don't know, I'd make comments or whatever. And I was a big location person. I mean, I had specific things about, you know, where I wanted my restaurant, or, you know, where it had to be, or, you know, just qualifications for it. And so she decided that we were going to come take a look at it one day, and we walked in, and I thought, oh man, there's a lot to work with here. And I was just really impressed with it. And so after that, I mean, I was working at an ad agency, and I was teaching up at MSU, and I had a lot of irons in the fire, because that's just kind of how I am. So we had this really difficult balancing act about trying to get this place bought, working with the SBA, trying to do my job, trying to teach at night. And so it was this big mishmash of trying to achieve this goal, but, you know, trying to keep all the, you know, the plates in the air, as it were. And so, we eventually, you know, end up buying it, and I put notice in on my job, and I'm laughing because we had this thought that it was going to be pretty mellow, and, you know, we were looking to make money, but we weren't thinking like, oh, it's just going to be this big, huge,
Right.
busy restaurant. And so we had all this stuff planned out. You know, it was going to be minimal employees, and Tara was going to keep her job at the hospital, and and my background in advertising helped us out quite a bit in terms of branding. And so what happened was we opened, and it went off like a rocket.
Well, do you remember we did I'm air quoting this, soft opening, and one of my servers who's still with us, she's been with us since the beginning, Kelly, she was a little frustrated with me, a lot frustrated, and she goes, Tara, it can't be a soft opening if you post it on your Facebook. Do you know how many friends you have on Facebook? And I thought, oh my gosh, she's not wrong.
Yeah, we were our big thing was that we were going to be grinding beef fresh and doing that, and so that generated a lot of excitement. We had hundreds of people waiting, and as you know, most Great Falls restaurants, they get this big push at the beginning, and we got this huge push, which was great. But it never stopped pushing, and so
I've never been here where I'm like, oh, there's plenty of open tables.
Finally, it's calmed down in here.
Yeah, so it was a real hard adjustment because of what we thought was going to happen, and geez, within 2 weeks, I called my wife and I'm like, you have to quit your job. I mean, we will be derailed and out of business if we don't have somebody managing the front of the house. It was, I couldn't even take a step away from the kitchen to see what was going on in the restaurant. And
and at that time I was working night shift as a nurse, and I remember I'd get off shift and I would line 3 chairs up and I would lay down to try and at least get a little bit of sleep before we had to get going here, and it was brutal. It was brutal.
Well, we would line these chairs up and take a nap. I mean, she was working there and then work here on our days off, and I mean, I was here. I didn't realize that I could actually do 18-hour work days.
Man.
It was incredibly challenging.
But you found the thing that it was your dream though, right? So you're like, oh, this is tiring, but I like it, so I'm gonna do it, right?
It was a nightmare.
Okay.
And it was a dream.
No, wrong.
Then it was a nightmare, and then it turned back into a dream. So it kind of moved around. It was like a weird dream where it starts out great, and then all of a sudden you're running for your life, and you got the train chasing you down, and then you go over the field, and there's a little picnic there waiting for you. So it kind of moved around. It was a really, really difficult opening because we had to scale our business to make sure that we were all about making sure the customers had good experiences. And with my background in advertising and branding, I mean, I know how important that is for any business. And so I was more of a Nazi about that, I think, than most people maybe expected, especially the employees, because I was obsessed with making sure everything went right. And of course, when stuff like that is going on, it's not always right.
Right.
And so it was definitely a struggle, and my wife was wonderful in staying with me because I was not the ideal husband for a while when we opened this place.
Oh man, this is interesting because I experienced maybe not your soft opening, but the opening parts of your restaurant. Like I saw you guys open up, and I was experiencing it, and all I can think about is, whatever they were paying you at your marketing job, it wasn't enough. They should have doubled it, right? Because like what happened is then you started to do like the best marketing I've ever seen for a burger joint. Like it was just no one was anywhere close. Like every time you came out with just a new burger, I wanted to get that burger's advertising and put it on a tattoo or a T-shirt and put it on my body, okay? And then you get here, and the food is really good. The marketing is true. It wasn't a bait and switch at all. And then you've got Tara over here, who is the most bubbly person I think I've ever met. I don't. There's not a contest or anything, but when I think of bubbly people and people that I'm just like, I really liked talking with that person, it's Tara. Aww. And so this perfect storm, like hindsight 2020. I'm thinking back on all these facts you're giving me. I'm like, man, how did we not see the huge tidal wave coming when you open this place up? Because I mean, you guys are like the dream team here.
Oh yeah. If you came home with us at night, it was painful, and a lot of times you don't go on social media and discuss really what's going on.
The negative side.
Yeah, so I always say, be nice and kind and love each other, because underneath that smile, there might be something else going on.
Right.
Well,
right.
And Tara really, and I've kind of stepped back. Not that I was ever there, I don't think, but she's kind of the face of the Roadhouse because she is just 100% the personality. and you know, I kind of sitting back and do my thing.
Yeah, we're aware of you.
Yeah,
which is good.
Yeah, you kind of see me floating around. Sometimes I pop out, you know, to go use the bathroom, and
Right.
whatever, and that's it. But that's great because she deserves all the credit for the vibe that she gives this place and the way customers feel and how much they enjoy it.
I was going to say, I knew you existed. I knew you were a person. Had no idea what you looked like, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But I just knew that you existed. You, on the other hand, like every time I've been in, I've seen you.
Yes.
Anytime you look at social media, you know,
There I am.
like you are the face of Roadhouse.
I'm like
Absolutely.
a nightmare that can't go away. There's Tara. Oh my gosh. No, I think it's really important for people to know that it doesn't matter your title, that you are all important in some way, shape, or form. And I always tell the servers that it's our goal and it's up to us to know that they're going to be taken care of. And sometimes people need a little more chit-chat time. Some people don't need chit-chat time, and you have to gauge what their needs are. Sometimes it's a hug, and there's a lady out there who had a bad migraine, and with her permission and my little essential oil, I help massage her neck and that. And she's like, oh my gosh, Tara. And then a lot of times I say, okay, you want a hot tea? I'm like, tell me your symptoms. What's going on? Are we stressed? Do we need to get a little more energized? What do you need? What are your needs? And then I take care of that. We take care of that. And I do think that that's an essential part of being a human in general.
Right.
It's like you're teaching
courtesy
triage.
Yeah.
You know, that's
exactly.
what I was thinking.
Yeah, the
Who needs the most help, Al? Here you go.
Like, I'll take care of you.
the
got
teas,
this.
the teas are crazy. If you seriously, if you have a symptom like, oh, I don't feel good today, or I have a headache, there's a tea back there that she knows. It goes, okay, this is what you drink, and then 20 minutes later, you feel better. Whatever is ailing you, it's
Didn't
crazy.
you just come to me a couple days ago? You're like, Tara, this is going on. I'm like, I got you.
Oh yeah, for Brando, yeah.
And so I've got to go back because you mentioned really briefly grinding your own beef, and there are a few rumors out there about Roadhouse. Okay, and so one rumor is this isn't like bad or anything. One rumor is though that you spent, I think the rumor goes you spent months grinding up different cuts of beef from different ranchers with different mixtures of fat and like explain the process to get where we're the burger that's in front of us right now. Like, what did that take in the beginning?
Yeah, so in the beginning, we worked with a bunch of different cuts of meat, and we were trying to figure out. Our big thing was we didn't want to introduce a whole bunch of different kinds of meat from different animals. So we liked to. I kind of explain it. We wanted to know that what we were grinding up was from one animal, from one location. A lot of ground beef comes from different areas, could come from different countries, and it all gets processed in a meat processing plant. And I mean, you could have a cow from Nebraska and a cow from Argentina and all that stuff. And I wanted to have a little more pure product, and so we spent a lot of time trying to figure out which cuts of beef would give us the proper flavor and fat content, so I didn't have to be bringing in different animals from different locations to make my mix. And so we worked on that over the years, and now we're working with McCafferty Ranch. And one of the big issues with the working with Montana ranchers is we were concerned about the volume of beef that we need to get, and we wanted to make sure that it's always the same ranch, it's always the same cattle, and so we ended up working with McCafferty and trying out these different cuts of meat and stuff. And one of the great things about with those guys is that the meat that we use comes from the same cows. So we went out there, had a tour, and we got to see the cows. And in like 3 months, those cows are going to be in our walk-in.
Right.
And it's really cool. I mean, it's not meant to be cruel. It's meant to be really interesting that we can actually go see. And we live out past Belt, and their cows graze over this hill, and we can actually see the cows from our house that we're going to be using at the Roadhouse. And I think that that's really cool because it's just right there. It's 30 miles out of town, and that's where the beef comes from.
Well, and I think what's important as well is that these cows are grass-fed and sprout-finished. The McCaffertys have developed and built this huge hydroponic system, and they have pulleys and barley and different stages. And so we actually were able to eat it, and it is good. Like,
Whoa.
if it's good enough for cows, it's good enough for us.
Yeah, and
The feed they gave the cows. That's what you were able to
Feed
do.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
interesting part about McCafferty's setup out there is that they have that hydroponic farm where they're feeding their cattle sprouts all year round. So even when it's 20 below, they have this hydroponic farm where they're growing everything
Yeah.
inside. So what that means to us as a restaurant is that all the meat that we will get from McCafferty will always be consistent, because they are not, they won't have, cattle that are just grazing in the wintertime when
Depending on the season.
yeah, depending on the season. So they're always being fed the same way all year round. And so from our end, that makes it consistent. So when we get it, everything always tastes the same. And I don't want to leave out Central Avenue Meats, who is their processor. And Drew down there ages the beef. And so we get a dry aged beef here, which
How long?
14 days. Yeah. So it's when you can. So the burger thing here is an experience. You get it, you can smell it, you can taste it. It's just great. And our goal was to always have that unique burger experience. And that was always the goal. And going back to your original question, as we kind of circle around, is that, I spent a lot of time working, experimenting, making sure that what we're doing is always going to be what I feel is the best product that we can put out there. And that's why I like to put time into it. And I like to do research. That's a throwback from what I did at my old job. I'm just a research guy. So I like to just work and experiment with stuff and figure out, what's going to be the best thing for us.
So I want to. It looks like you have something, but I want to tie right in with. The first time I came here after I moved back to Great Falls a couple years ago. The first time I came here, once I came back, my wife and I were like, these burgers are amazing. We need to get these buns at home. So we went down to Harvest Bread Company.
Great Harvest.
Great Harvest. There we go. Great Harvest. And we went in and we're like, hey, we just need some buns. We're wondering if we could get the same ones that they have up at the Roadhouse. You know what they said? You know what they said.
I know
Yeah,
what they
said
said.
no, because that was part of our deal.
They said, hell no. Get out of here. No, they didn't say that.
Get out.
They were like,
Go, Ryan.
well, we can't do that. We're I don't know if they said we're under contract or whatever. And so not only the beef, you also went mad scientist on the buns.
Yeah.
And so explain that just a little
Yeah.
bit.
I'll let Tara explain that because she's the baker.
Well, so we decided that it would be great to have an exclusive bun at the Roadhouse Diner. And Ryan was awesome. He would bring us different samples of different ones. And those of you who know me know I'm extremely particular. And there were many that did not work. And so we finally found the right one, and it was the one. And you're going to hit it out of the ballpark. But part of the deal was, as I said, we need Roadhouse exclusivity. If we do this, you have to assure me that it is only the Roadhouse bun. That's why with every new customer that comes in, we explain that it is scratch made daily by Great Harvest Bakery with our own Roadhouse recipe. And that just ties everything in.
Well, and that's what they told me too. Is I was like, okay, well, do you have something close? And they're like, yeah, we have one that's close,
Right?
Which was good. It wasn't the same, but it was good. And they said, we make this stuff. We make hundreds of buns
Yes.
like every day to
Yeah.
bring up here, and so they collaborate your story as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Not just you saying that.
Yes.
Like they agree with that as well.
We have amazing people that we work with between McCafferty Ranch, Central Avenue Meats, Great Harvest. Really, when people eat here, they eat with our community, and that is huge.
Right.
Yeah, and that's a big part of our philosophy from the beginning. We didn't quite were able to start out that way with everything, but we knew that's what we were working towards. We always wanted to have the majority of our stuff sourced in Montana, and our potatoes come from Manhattan, Montana, and I find Montana potatoes actually superior to Idaho potatoes.
I love your fries
Yeah,
here.
the fries here are so good.
Yeah, we've worked on those fries. I've probably worked more on the fries, I think, than the beef. The fries were really a 5-year work in progress. It's crazy for a potato.
So when you're doing these experiments, like going back to the meat and I guess the fries too, I mean, is it just you having a hypothesis, having a list, and then just trying them out with your friends and family, or do you have more of a, like, are you burning them under a microscope and like testing the caloric things, like getting down into the science of it?
It's kind of a mix. So I do a lot of research and I study a little bit about starches and how it releases and things like that. The technical stuff, but I'm not a real brainiac, so I don't get too deep into the science. But I get enough to figure out how to work it, and then we come in here and my cooks back there who are borderline chefs, I get their input because they have a lot of experience too, and so I work with them and we try things out, and they help me kind of brainstorm and figure out what our process is, and they've always been a part of it, and I'm always thankful for those guys' input too, because one of the guys here is he has taken particular pride in making sure that our fries are the best and our fries are always top notch and stuff, and over the years he's helped me work on different systems and troubleshooting, and I mean we have different kind of components going with the fries. I mean, you have the fries, you have the starch content, you have when those potatoes are harvested, because they change as they get harvested, as they sit in the warehouse before they make their way here. You've got different states of the fryer oil. All these things kind of come in, and so when you're a French fry guy at the Roadhouse, it's not just drop the French fries and that's it. You have to be able to kind of read what's going on. All the 3 fryers, they could be at different temperatures depending on how busy we are. The fryer oil could be in different states, and so there's a lot of things going on with the fries, and it kind of comes down to our standards. We want to make sure that all the fries always come out and they're always good, but because they're all natural, they're not coated with chemicals. We have to really be on top of it, and that's just kind of our personal pride. Making sure that stuff comes out always perfect. And, we strive for perfection. We don't always get there, but we always go for being perfect.
Man, that's awesome. And for you listeners that are just imagining every single burger restaurant that has the owners looking at the cows that they're about to slaughter in 3 months, it's not like that. This is a special thing. And I'm sure if there's any restaurant tours out there wondering, how do I get my fry guy to care about the science behind fries and be interested in them? Because I go through one a week. You know what I mean? It sounds like you guys are not only just so interested and passionate about your food, but you treat people nicely. You understand the people that are working with you, their worth. And it seems like you're working with them. You're not like, here's the plan, guys. We're geniuses, and we're going to go collect all the profits in the Bahamas. Like, you guys are here with your sleeves rolled up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's...
I was going to say
one
thing about the cooks as well is that it can be very demanding back there, and all those people that cook at home, boy, imagining cooking for a restaurant. And when you're doing fresh food, it's not like you go out in that freezer and open that fry bag and just throw it in. There's way more to that, like Jason was explaining, and especially with the beef too, having that perfect medium so it's a little bit pink, and there is it can be a little pressure sometimes, but they do so good. In fact, we have 2 of our cooks that have been with us since the beginning, and that says a lot. We don't have a high turnover rate, and Jason does a great job with the cooks back there. And I used to actually do the French fries and cut the beef, and I'm not allowed back there anymore. I think I'm too slow for them now.
Whoa.
Yeah, our newest employee in the kitchen has been here for 2.5 years.
Wow.
Everybody else has been here for 4, 5, 6, almost 7 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's great, and I kind of credit it to Tara and I coming both from professional, kind of jobs where she was a nurse and I was working in an ad agency, and we came here and we have the same attitude towards our employees. I tell this to them all the time. This is their profession. I respect people in this profession, and I respect everything that these guys bring to the table, because that's it. This is no different than a guy sitting at a desk putting together ad campaigns. They need to know certain things. They need to know how things are made, cooked, prepared, workflow, the whole thing. And I respect restaurant workers the same way I respect an ad agency guy.
Absolutely.
And we've tried to project that onto our employees, and I think that they feel valued, and we're there with them, and when they have a problem, we try to resolve it and just take care of it right there. We treat our employees with respect. And I think they come back and they give us their pride and their workmanship, and we try to foster that. So
and we have high expectations too. So
we do.
We are.
But like you may feel as like a manager or boss that like that's a difficult thing for people, but man, people enjoy knowing what expectations are and working to live up to them. Like people really love having a bar to hit and not like some moving goalpost or, just, do your best. Like, no, this is what I need you to do. These burgers need to come out medium rare. This is what they need to look like. This is what the fries. When I worked at Burger King, I went back and grabbed a bag of fries. You shook it up. You put half in the bag, half in the basket, half in the other basket. You put them down, hit a button. It told you when to shake, and then you threw them,
Exactly.
Like, we didn't have much of an expectation. The little timer did it all for us, but when you're here, like you have ownership. I have no idea where those fries came from. I think they were made in a mold. I think they, they grind them up and then they make them into a fry looking thing. And so it's way different to be here, and you go so far into it, how long your potatoes are sitting in the warehouse, right?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
you know what I mean? And so it's a different expectation. People want to be part of that. There's a pride that comes with it.
Well, and we always give the rational basis as taking in from the nursing component and the medical. The rational basis behind this is this. And then people go, okay, I get that. That makes sense. So always know that rational basis as to what you're asking from people, and then they can get it a lot faster and a lot easier.
Right. Well, and the beauty behind our guys in back, and I think this applies to the girls up front, the faster or the busier we get, the better those guys get. So it's like they really feed off of, when things are really cranking. I mean, they're going like a machine back there. It's great because they enjoy that. They enjoy that challenge of just getting hammered and working through it, and everybody always rises to the occasion. And so that's from an employer standpoint, it's really cool to see your employees all get kind of behind the Roadhouse, because they take pride in working here, and people always, when they see them with their gear, out in public, they're maybe wearing their hat or their shirt or whatever. Hey, Roadhouse, hey, I love that place. And they come in here and they go, yeah, I got somebody talk to me again at the gas station. I'm wearing my Roadhouse hat. And they're
But they secretly love it.
Yeah, but it's like, it's cool to be part of something like that, where somebody, points you out and they don't know who you are. They're just like, hey, Roadhouse, that's cool. That's cool you work there. And that's just kind of a real unique thing. I don't think a lot of places have the benefit of having that kind of goodwill out there. I mean, it's really cool.
Right. I didn't wear my Burger King hat anywhere else.
Yeah.
I can say that on the note of like when it's busy and they just start like working even better, there's been times I've come into town and my wife and I are like, we just need to get something really quick. And I remember the first time it happened, she mentioned some fast food restaurant. Let's just go through the drive-thru, let's do this. And I said, I can bet we can go to the Roadhouse, sit down and eat, and be done faster than we can get through a drive-thru and get home and eat out of a bag. And I was right.
Exactly.
There was one table. I sat at that table. I remember. I sat at that table right there. There was one table open, and we were in, I think it was 18 minutes.
Yes.
And that's including eating.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was incredible.
Yes. That is so true, because I have trained the servers up front how we need to turn these tables, how we can get people in and out in their time. And then Jason has done an exemplary job in the back with how he has that line working and running.
Right, because I've never felt like you need to get out of here. Like any wait staff or anybody said like you need to leave. But I've never I've never been waiting on you guys for anything.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like everything is done very quickly.
We are pretty efficient back there, and that's the other thing about going back to kind of the fries and the burgers is that everything, the cooks have to get everything out on time. So fries are up, burgers up at the same time. And so that's kind of the trick, and anybody who worked in a restaurant knows how challenging that can be, that you're timing the one part of the line to the other part of the line. But that's kind of the game back there, and to make sure that everything comes out. And then whenever, then it's not sitting. So
Oh, it doesn't just sit under a heat lamp
yeah,
and wait?
No, don't you
Yeah.
hear him?
Yeah,
Don't
so-
you hear them yelling my name? Tara!
Yeah, and I've kind of softened a little bit as I get older. But when I was younger, I would, if something stood in the window for 15 seconds, I was screaming at the girls.
Let's just say everybody knows my name.
So yeah, so that's. But now everybody's in a good system, good rhythm. That's the benefit of having longtime employees. Is they now everybody kind of gets it, and so it is very efficient. And we get it out to people. And that's the enjoyment part. You get hot fries, you get a hot burger,
Right.
when you sit down.
Yeah. I was reading a book called The Breath of the Wok, and that's kind of the whole point of wok cooking. It's super quick, but then they pile it out of the wok onto your plate, and that's when it's the most delicious, is when they just cooked it. And
Yeah.
so every second that you're waiting and it's losing that temperature, you're losing that deliciousness.
Well, and I've noticed here that people have to start on their French fries first because their burger is too hot because it's so
Yeah.
fresh and hot off the grill.
Yep, I've done a lot of right. You get the burger, you take one bite, and you're like, nope, I gotta wait now, because you just
Right.
have to like get it down really quick, and then you're like, nope, just gonna do the fries, because the fries come with amazing sauces, which we dabbled in, we haven't talked about, but those are also made here, correct?
Correct. All the sauces are house made.
And so I've done. I don't know if it's like officially a flight, but I've asked for
yes.
like a flight before,
Yes.
right? Like I've gotten like
Yes.
6 of them just so I can try, and I don't. You have more than 6.
I think we have 7 or 8 now.
Right.
Yeah. We just did a flight like 2 days ago. Somebody wanted to try all the sauces.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I was getting that ready for them.
And that's fun because sometimes it's the roadie sauce, sometimes it's a crossroads sauce, and sometimes it's that classic old ranch, spiked ranch, or fry sauce too. It's kind of fun to see what people like because tastes are subjective.
Right,
And that's
right.
the fun of coming to the Roadhouse. Everyone can be happy with their choice because whether it's spicy, whether it's mild, or whether it's in between, we've got it.
Yeah.
We can get you widow sauce if you want.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true.
Which that's what was on the bacon. Well, not widow sauce, but that's
Yeah,
Let's
so
talk about this bacon that you guys had us try right
Okay.
before we started using our mouths on a podcast.
Breakfast of champions.
Yes. So the widow bacon. So we hand rub the bacon with ghost pepper powder, and so what we do is we've got to hand rub the bacon, and then we have to store it overnight for 24 hours so that flavor kind of melds, and then it's actually so potent. It's like putting mace into the air. So I can't do it during times we're open. So I have to do it when we're closed. And so I happened to be doing it this morning, and we had one extra piece. And I know Joe's a classic Widowmaker burger guy. So I thought, oh well, maybe Joe wants to have just a piece of this bacon. So we cooked it off and getting it ready for the week, and then I had that extra piece, and that's what the piece I brought out to you guys. But yeah, it is a major heat component to the Widowmaker burger.
Ooh, I can barely notice
Yeah,
it.
Joe just took another bite. How you feeling, buddy?
I feel good. So strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets your heart rate going.
Are you strong or the
sweating.
bacon strong? Does it make you stronger like Popeye and spinach?
It makes me want to run to go get something cold and put it in my mouth. But I'm not going to because I already had a bite and now I'm feeling strong. But I'm sweating. I'm instantly sweating.
Yep.
And I do that thing where if it's like super hot, I'll get the hiccups immediately. Okay, not this time. But before, when I took the first bite, I had the hiccups.
Well, that's the thing is like it's definitely hot, but the flavor
Right.
is fantastic.
Exactly.
Where do you get the bacon from? I'm sure there's
Exactly.
a story behind that too.
Well, it is Montana bacon.
Yeah,
And yes, you know
So
Montana.
we have. Yeah, I was going to say.
We
so
know
that's-
our food.
Yeah.
And so that's going back to the heat component of that. You've got the heat and the flavor, and that was kind of the balance of the Widowmaker, is trying to not get something that just blows you out, but there's heat and there's flavor notes mixed in there. So Because I wouldn't say it's easy to blow somebody out, but I mean, there's one thing just making something so super hot you can't taste anything. But this has different kind of levels going on, and we've kind of designed it that way. So if you are a heat aficionado, you will eat the Widowmaker, and you will get all the flavors and the notes of the sauce, the bacon, and the pepper relish that's in there.
Right, and so that's what I was trying to articulate, is that it's not hot for hot's sake just to make you sweat. Like it's hot for the flavor.
Yeah,
and it really is good. On that note, you have like regular burgers that people can get anytime they come in. How many of those do you have?
Well, we have the build your own bacon, build your own burger, so people can do exactly what they want. So maybe they want just a classic American cheeseburger, they can get it. Maybe they want a half elevated burger with a little bit of spice, so we add maybe a pepper jack, jalapeno. Maybe someone wants to get a side of widow sauce, so you can actually customize it, or you can choose to have one of our creations,
Which is what I always do.
Which one do you like?
Yeah. Okay,
Which
so
one's your favorite?
my favorite that it's hard to get me to go away from is the PB&J.
You should try the bacon jam on top of that too. It gives a
Give
nice little smoky
give you a
flavor.
Roadhouse unadvertised Roadhouse hack. So next time you have a PB&J, add a side of bacon jam, and you'll be in love, because the PB&J is really good, but you add the bacon jam to it, and it's a different level.
It is.
I'm gonna have to do that then, because it's just beyond my favorite. The way that like what happens to the peanut butter and jelly when it gets hot, on the burger, and the way it melts, it just fantastic.
A little side story of that PB&J. It was actually one of my nurse friends, Tracy, who was like, "Hey, Tara, you need to do a Elvis burger."
Oh, yeah.
And I was telling Jason, I'm like, "Oh, that might be kind of fun." So we played around with the bananas and peanut butter and jelly, and I was not a big fan of the bananas. So I went to the B words, and I said, "Bananas, bacon. Let's put bacon," and said, "Whoa." Right there it was.
Yep.
Boom.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Life-changing.
It's such
Not
a comfort
bananas, but
burger.
bacon. Boom.
Boom.
All these.
Bacon boom.
Yeah, day like today is just like it's PB&J day, because it's like a warm blanket around your face.
Oh,
Yeah.
with cheese fries.
Perfect.
Oh, it's just so
Guys.
good. So I usually get my fries naked because I like the sauce so much that like I don't want to mess it up with any cheese. Now I'm not trying to put down anybody that gets the cheese. It's
no,
okay.
that's okay.
I've
Get
done
your
it.
cheese.
But I'm a dip. Like
Well, I have to tell
the
you,
more
I
dips I
do
can have, the better.
cheese fries and fry sauce. Oh.
Oh, I've had it. It's
Oh,
good.
good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
And then,
But
Joe, I think you're the Widowmaker fan, if
Yeah.
I remember correctly, right?
Widowmaker, Reaper when you have it,
Oh.
Yeah, we had to
when that was a thing.
to unfortunately
Yes.
cancel that. It was a
little too hot.
Little too hot.
I can
Some-
attest to
yeah.
that. I came in one time and I
Yeah.
thought that Charlie was messing with me back there. I was like, is Charlie trying to mess with me? One of the cooks back there. And he used to be my roommate. And
Yeah.
I'd came in here and we'd go to different restaurants and I'd have the ghost pepper whatever, and he'd be in awe that I could eat it, and I'd choke it down. It's not like I'm totally untouchable when it comes to spice, but sometimes I'd say, wow, I had to put gloves on and sign a waiver for these wings. Man, these weren't even hot.
Yeah.
And so knowing that, I was thinking, so I ordered a Reaper, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the hottest thing I've ever had. I had to like scrape off peppers, you know what I mean? I was like, man, I need a white flag because I surrender.
Right.
Yeah.
And that reminds me of, not to take a left turn too quickly, but on the topic of spicy burgers, I was watching Tara's episode on Guy's Grocery Games.
Yes.
I finally found it. It was like, I was like, oh, where is it? What season? But then I finally found it, and I was
Yes.
like, oh my gosh, what a cool episode.
Yes.
Kind of sad that one person got disqualified because of the cut or whatever.
Right.
But I have to hear, what was your thought process on that pepper burger? Because to my memory, you took, I can't remember the peppers, but I was thinking, man, those are hot peppers. And then you just like, I didn't remember you getting rid of any of the seeds. You just like,
Oh, no.
it was like you took a full pepper and just put it
Yeah.
all on the burger.
Yes.
And won. I was like, this is awesome.
Well, one thing that was really interesting with the show was that I had to make sure that those guys knew I wasn't a threat, because I'm just a nurse. That's all I am.
I
Had
see.
to ask lots of questions. I wanted to ask questions about them so I could. I actually kept a diary, and I had an inspirational book with me as well. I should have to review that again. So with the hot burger, the challenge was make an over-the-top burger.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah, okay.
oh yeah,
Over
this
the
is this. You're talking the girl who uses crickets in burgers and candy, and we unveiled that Widowmaker on July 4th. I think it was 2015, and I'm like, oh, I can do this. And I like chuckled. And so, yes, I did not get rid of the seeds and made a little sauce with it. And then as I'm standing in the lineup, I was the last person that they chose to try the burger because I don't know if they looked me in the eye and they knew that I had fire in it. I don't know.
They might have known that they were going to get blown out.
Oh my gosh. So I'm standing there going, did I just make the biggest mistake of my life? I'm going to get voted out first. They're going to be like, she's too hot. We can't have her here. So I was just sitting there going, oh my gosh. And you're in this lineup and you're just standing there. And I'm like, oh, the guy loved it. The two ladies were kind of like, okay, well, it is over the top. And I thought, oh my gosh, I think I got this one. I think I got it. So that's kind of what went through my mind. I'm like, I know I can go over the top in heat. I knew I could do that.
I was so surprised by the judges because usually you put in like a little bit too much cayenne pepper and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't feel my tongue. But they're like, this is a little spicy, but I like it. And I was like, whoa, that was really cool.
That was a mango habanero.
I did a mango habanero sauce too.
Yeah.
And one thing that was really neat too is because we had already been creating the Widowmaker is that I knew the flavor and I knew that flavor profile that I could bring that out to impress like real chefs.
Right.
So cool.
Right.
So wait, let's just clarify with everyone because you kind of breezed through real quick.
Sorry.
When were you on the show?
Let's see. I believe I went down in 2016 to film, and then I had to wait a long time before I could reveal that I was even on the show. I could only say I was on a Food Network obligation. Oh. So it was...
I think it aired like 8 months later.
Yes, it was a long time.
So maybe in 2017 even?
It could have been. It was so funny because
you were there in October of 2016,
So
and it aired like May of 2017.
Okay.
Well, and I remember I was on the airplane to come home, and for those of you who know Great Falls, Montana, I mean, centrally located, beautiful, small town, comparatively speaking, from when I lived in Southern California and the Seattle area. So I walk on the plane, and the pilot knew me, and he goes, Tara, what are you doing? I said, Food Network obligation. I'm telling you, I had the last seat on the very last row of the airplane. I wanted to skip down there and I wanted to say, I just won! Woohoo! Like I took it home for Great Falls, Montana.
Couldn't tell anybody.
Oh my gosh. Do you know how hard that was? Like I had this plate that I had to sleep in the airport because of weather, and we don't have a ton of planes that come into Great Falls, Montana.
Oh yeah, in October too, yeah.
So I had to sleep in the airport, and I had this plate that all the judges signed, which I still have. And I remember safeguarding that baby. And I had that on the plane, and I'm telling you, I wanted to throw that up like a trophy and say, we got this, Montana. We're amazing.
That's
Great
right.
Falls, go.
Yeah.
But I couldn't. I just walked slowly to my chair, waiting for the opportunity to tell everybody.
Right. Oh,
And then
7 months later.
I know. Well, another funny thing is like people were like super excited, when it was finally revealed. And they're like, oh my gosh. And it's weird. Like you've already been there, done that emotion. And then they're coming to you going, so how did you do, Tara? Well, I can't tell you. So I thought, you got to be quick, Tara. What are you going to say? I did the best that I could with the situation given.
Ooh, that's a good answer.
And I had all the servers like, okay, you guys tell me, what place do you think I took?
Yeah.
And so they unanimously thought I took, do you remember, Jason?
I don't remember.
Second place. They thought I took second place. I was like, ooh, second place is the first loser. No.
Dang, guys.
Well, and it was so funny because
Have some faith.
we had our friend Jamie Ford was at the reveal party. And I remember during the show, I saw him looking over at me, and he looked back at the screen, and he looked at me, looked at the screen, and he's like, she won this show. That's why we're here.
Trying
This
to
isn't
figure
just
it
like, we're going to sit down and watch a football game, like
Yeah.
we're going to watch Tara win. And it was so funny for him. He was the first person to really put that together, that I had actually won the show.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of cool.
Wow, so you kept it a good secret then.
Oh,
yeah.
it was tough, let me tell you, especially right at the beginning, because you're on this adrenaline rush. So it
Yeah.
just took a little bit of time, patience.
Well, and we had Jamie on the podcast just a couple weeks ago. We had him on. He's a fantastic.
I listened to it.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yes.
It was fun to have him on.
Oh, cool. Because we mentioned you. I was like, I hope she listens to that.
Oh, I did. Yes, I did.
yeah.
I listened to it.
Awesome. The system works.
Yes, it does.
So you have. I want to go back to the burgers. You have build your own. You have the regular ones that are always here, and then
10 signature
it seems
ones.
to me, and I could be wrong. Every week there's a new burger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every week, and then sometimes every 2 weeks. We
Yes.
kind of, based on ingredient availability, stuff like that. But
Okay,
I
that
makes sense.
try to create a new burger at least every week or every 2 weeks, and we have repeated very few. So I've had to create hundreds of different specials.
So sad.
So it's
Right.
crazy because you're also, not only are you creating a new burger. Sometimes they're like remakes or number 2 or something like that, right? Where you've made a little addition onto an old one, but there's also a new graphic
Yeah.
for every single burger.
Cool
And like
one.
Joe was saying, like, it's a cool graphic. I want these posters up in my house. Like they're amazing. I was the one that's popping in my head right now is when Ghostbusters, the new
Yes.
Ghostbusters came out. You had a
Yes.
burger for that. It's just fantastic.
We
Yeah.
actually had one of our regulars. He would always want the posters. I'm like, sure, here you go. His mom finally said, okay, no more. You cannot have any more Roadhouse Diner posters.
Well, and then we now have the digital TV to display the
Yeah, right-
posters,
right
which is
behind you there.
really cool. But yeah, I that's kind of my way of staying sharp
Yes.
in graphic design and marketing and stuff, is that I constantly get to do that. And plus I get to be my own client, so I get to approve it or change it up, and I don't have to deal with anything. But yeah, that's the fun. I mean, all the graphic stuff that I get to do here is kind of an extension of me, but it also keeps me sharp, because I do miss doing that kind of work, and so I get to interject that into the diner.
Yeah, but now you're not just like stuck behind a computer and that's all you
Exactly.
do, right? You get the best of both. You've figured out the way to take like two things that are somewhat unrelated. I want to make amazing burgers, and I want to create amazing graphics, and you figured out a way to like then make it into a booming business, and that's pretty
Yeah,
good.
and get people excited or want to participate, or
Right.
there's a bunch of different emotions, but the reasoning behind why we do those kind of graphics. One, I get to have fun, but two, it gives people a little vibe on what we're going for with the special. Like
Right.
we're trying to hype them up and go, like we had the Daredevil burger, which is ending this week, and it kind of tied into Spider-Man, because I don't want to give away by the time this comes out, there won't be a spoiler, but I mean, Matt Murdock, who played Daredevil on the Netflix series, showed up in Spider-Man. So I thought, this is a perfect time to bring
cool.
Daredevil back as a burger. And then
Okay.
we did that. And so that's kind of the fun part about
Okay, and I'm
doing
gonna
that.
I'm gonna interrupt
Heck yeah.
Jason, because he put me in a very awkward position yesterday, because I don't spend a lot of time watching TV. I'm more the bookwork. I love investments and whatnot. So I'm serving a customer yesterday, and he looks at it and he's like so excited. I mean, this is a full-grown adult man. He's like a 2-year-old. No, let's do 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Just super excited. He goes, "Can you tell me? Can you tell me?" He's shaking his feet. He's like, "Is this a precursor to the movie that I'm gonna go watch today? Spider-Man? Is it?" And I'm like, I don't know, but I can tell you the special. It is called the Daredevil. And I'm doing this, and I'm like, did I
know.
just break his heart and not know it? I look at his wife, and I'm like, I love his enthusiasm. So anyway, I'm like, I don't know. I said, my husband knows. I don't know, but I know you're going to love this burger. It's so good. So anyway.
If you have paid any attention at all over the years to anything Roadhouse puts out, you will see that I'm a huge nerd, former
Yes.
comic book shop owner,
Yes.
Absolutely.
into heavy metal, all these things. And the girls up front I would say 90% of the time do not understand the references I'm making on the burgers, which is kind of hilarious.
That is
That is pretty funny
Yeah.
because I get most of them because
Yeah.
you know, like
Well, we're guys, you know.
right, and so the comic book thing, the almost 50s-esque, 60s-esque kind of feel to a lot of this stuff. A little bit of hard rock, you know, metal. It just appeals to dudes like so much, and maybe girls like it because of the. That's gonna sound insulting. I was gonna say because of the pretty colors that
You're digging yourself deeper.
Girls are deeper than that. Girls are deeper than that. But I know that like they don't necessarily relate with the comic books. Or Ghostbusters was my favorite movie as a kid.
Yes.
And so when that one came out, and so it works. I see on social media, this is the new burger, and if I know I can't get in that week, I'm like mad. I'm like,
Yeah.
really want that burger. Like, save me one.
Yeah,
Right.
we're always impressed. People say, "Hey, yeah, you remember? Oh, man, my favorite special was the Cantina burger," and I'm like, "Holy
What's
cow!"
that?
I'm like, that was 4 years ago, and so people carry that around, and I think that's cool, and it's one of those things that when we do bring one back, I try to think back to somebody mentioned this burger, so I go and kind of look it up and go, oh, maybe we'll bring this back because it just blows me away that these flavors on a burger made such an impression that they remember the name of the special from 4 years previous.
I mean, guilty. I've got one. Do you got one, Brian? That you did like the best special that you've ever had that you wish you would bring back?
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna have to think for a
You
second.
think?
Yeah.
I already have it. So it was the cherry pop rocks. Remember that
Oh.
one?
Oh my gosh,
That
the
was
cooks
Tara's.
hated me for that one.
That one was so. I was like, that's not going to work. That's crazy. But I love cherry. It's like my favorite
So
flavor.
much fun.
And I was like, well, pop rocks. That's going to be fun. And it was like they had like a cherry
Compote.
compote.
No, it was a
Confit.
confit.
Cherry confit.
Cherry confit on it with the cherry pop rocks, and I think there might have been bacon and
Yeah, there
cheese,
was,
maybe.
yeah.
But like when you eat it, it's like, ooh, great flavor, great sweetness, and then it actually starts to explode in your mouth. I was like, this is everything. And then it's like,
Yeah.
well, it's only a special, you never see it again. I was like, oh no. So that's
Yes.
the one I carry around with me.
Oh, nice.
That's my, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
yay.
And I'm just trying to like my peanut butter and jelly is like so much my favorite that like that's it.
All
there
the
was one that I
specials pale
think
in
maybe
comparison.
you had mentioned like it started because of the Elvis burger that had banana on it as
Yes.
well. And so there was one I had with banana on it.
It was the Evil Dead one for Ash. It was Hail to the King.
That's right.
And so
that-
that's the one that's sticking in my head right now.
We did that one because I wanted to. It was funny because we always talk about how we tried the banana on PB&J and couldn't make it work. So I was always kicking around in my head. And so for some reason, I don't know, I was watching Ash versus Evil Dead, and I thought, oh, I can't believe I have overlooked Ash. So I got to do this special. And so I thought, I'm going to revisit the frying up a banana and trying to figure out how to get that banana so it would still
Caramelize.
retain some of its toothiness, but caramelize it a little bit. So we figured out how to do that and add it to a PB&J, and I think I made a special jelly for it. But I was able to go back and actually do the PB&J with a banana and have it turn out the way I wanted to, and it was the Hail to the King
Yeah,
burger.
and so I remember that specifically with the banana that like it wasn't like this mushy, warm thing on there. It was like almost crispy on the outside to kind of like hold the
Right.
Man, nice work.
Yeah.
I've tried to cook bananas before too. It's hard.
Yeah, our secret weapon on the banana was bacon fat. So
Oh, interesting.
yeah. So that was it was good. That was fun.
That's
that
always the
makes-
secret ingredient.
Yeah.
Our secret ingredient for our burgers is bacon
Bacon
fat.
fat.
It is-
Our
Always.
secret ingredient for our jam is bacon fat.
Yeah.
In the shakes, you're
liquid
gonna find
gold.
So Joe, I know you've got a hard stop here in about
a couple minutes.
a few minutes here. So I want to make sure if there's any like resounding questions, things that like you're going to be mad that you don't ask before we get off, or that you think other people really want to know.
I don't know. Yeah, let me think about it.
Oh my gosh, we could do a survey.
Is there anything that we could? Is there anything that you guys have coming down the pipes that you might want to entice us with? Because I'm not sure if I'll be thinking.
So this show will come out on Tuesday. So what's today? Sunday, the 21st. This is coming out on the 21st
Of December.
Oh, okay.
of December.
Just before Christmas. Hey.
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Well, there is something coming down the pipeline.
Okay, well, if you want to say it,
Well, I won't divulge much into
we've
it.
got to be very vague.
So there's a
very vague.
thing.
Ooh, I
There's
like
a thing.
this.
There's
I
a
like
legit
this.
thing.
It's
Okay, okay.
Roadhouse seduction. No, there is something coming down the pipeline.
Uh-huh.
And so if we seem a little distracted, yes, so you're going to have to stay tuned.
Okay, so
Oh, yeah. No, they're going to, this is a teaser.
okay, teaser. Well,
you guys, now you know how it feels when you win something and you can't say
well, I'll
anything.
give a little payoff to go with the nerd thing. So this is
okay.
coming out Tuesday. So our special for New Year's week, which will be closed on New Year's Day, but we're open normally the rest of the week. I was working on a burger for the Cobra Kai new season that comes out on the 31st. And so I won't give you quite the ingredients, but I'll give you my thought process was that the basic gist is that Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso come together to fight the evil Cobra Kai dojo. And so they're trying to kind of meld their fighting styles because they're going to end up in the big all-city tournament at the end of the season type of thing.
Right.
So my thought process was that I've got to try to figure out a way to meld a Japanese cuisine or Japanese, food kind of ideas with the Johnny Lawrence, I eat burgers, bacon, macaroni, and cheese type thing. So I've been working on that to come up with a cool little fusion that kind of celebrates those two guys coming together. And that's again, the fun part about doing specials is that I just don't slap stuff together. I try to figure out ways to connect to the subject matter. And that's the fun challenge part. So I was actually working on that yesterday. So we've got it pretty well dialed in, but it's going to be a fun little Japanese redneck American fusion, I guess, would be the best.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, the
Okay.
best way to describe the burger coming up. So that's kind of fun. So yeah, when you see our stuff, there's always a little more thought put into it.
So when this comes out this Tuesday, we're looking at Christmas week. What are your hours as we get to the holidays, just so everybody kind of knows? Because I've parked in this parking lot before with like 3 other people meeting me here and been so mad because I'm like on a Monday or something.
Yeah.
And so I want to make sure I'm like, hey guys, we got to go somewhere else.
Well, we are open on Sundays now.
I know.
11 to 3.
Yeah.
Full menu. You can have PB&J.
That's why we're here today.
Yeah.
So we're opening.
Yeah.
So Christmas week we've got we'll be open the 22nd, 23rd, which is Wednesday, Thursday. We're going to be closed for the rest of the week after that, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the day after. But then the week after, we're just going to be closed on New Year's Day.
Correct.
The first.
The first.
That is
yeah.
correct.
So we'll be
Yes.
open all the other days. So
Perfect.
yeah, that's
just so everybody out there, you're going to be excited to try the burger you just heard about. Like now you know like when you can come.
Yeah, and so this comes out Tuesday, you said. So the special before the Cobra Kai is going to be the Krampus Crunch. So we have done Captain Crunchberry, peanut butter, and a raspberry honey spread on it. And with
You'll
bacon
love
and
it.
cheddar cheese.
Okay.
Just want that.
So watch our story. Joe and I are coming to try that burger.
Yeah, we're gonna have to try that.
Watch our Instagram.
It's super. It's really good.
You want to do this afternoon?
Yeah.
What's that?
We want to do this afternoon after my show. I could be here at 2.
It's not-
It will
it's not here yet.
start Wednesday.
Wednesday.
It
Okay.
starts Wednesday.
I'll put it on the
So,
calendar. I'm just jumping the gun here.
Yeah, we'll have to come in on Wednesday.
And I promise you, the Captain Crunch will not tear up the roof of your mouth.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
It'll
is it
soften
even
up just
is
a
it
little
even
bit.
authentic then? I mean,
Yeah, you don't get the Captain Crunch wreck your mouth experience.
yeah. The Fruit Loops we used to call roof loops. 'Cause
Yes.
they would just tear up
Yeah.
the roof of your mouth. Yeah. So I got a crazy question. Not a crazy question. Just a fun question. Is what's one ingredient you really wanted to put on a burger but haven't been able to yet?
I know what it is for me. And
go ahead,
I
'cause
am
I'll
in the
think.
works of doing that. Pineapple. I'm going to put pineapple on a burger. There's the big debate between does pineapple belong on a pizza? Well, we're going to put it to the burger test. So stay tuned for the pineapple on the burger.
love it.
I would have to say mine would be rice, which sounds very plain and, geez, you could put rice on a burger, but the holding it, making sure it's cooked right, making sure it stays together, trying to figure out what you pair it with on the burger. That's something that has kind of gone in and out of my brain over the years, and which is funny because she reminded me of, there's a traditional Hawaiian dish with rice, gravy, I think fried egg and spam or something. I can't remember.
Right.
Yes.
I did some research on it a couple years ago, and I just got stumped on the rice, and I thought I would just love to figure out how to get rice, because it's a little more than, you just have a rice cooker there and you just do it. Well, when in our kitchen, you've got to kind of coordinate things and have a place for things like that. And so it also comes with, okay, if I cook rice, how do I hold it? Where does it go?
Yeah.
Is it in the way of everything else? And so there's a lot of other things I have to think about. And rice has always been one of those things like, that would be cool. But, you can't really get gravy on a burger because it drips all over the place, and I don't know if I want people dipping a burger. And so there's all these considerations I have to make, but I always seem to get hung up on trying to figure out rice.
Yeah, rice would be fun too. Like my mind just started going of like my favorite kind of rice is fried rice.
Yeah.
And so like fried rice, burger fried rice or something would be that'd be really unique.
Yeah.
I was thinking crispy rice, like a Persian tahdig or something like that, where you just kind of golden brown the bottom of the rice so it gets all crispy and you can break it up in pieces.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Maybe.
Yep.
Yeah. See, it's good. It's good to talk
Exactly.
about this
Let's all
stuff.
collab.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And pineapple-
Absolutely.
And I can already say right now, like pineapple is one of my favorite ingredients on pizza.
Yeah.
I just love it too.
It's got to go on a burger.
Right,
It's got to go on a
exactly.
burger.
It could even be
Stay-
a pizza
stay
themed
tuned.
burger. You know what I mean?
Stay
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Canadian bacon pineapple pizza burger.
Exactly.
Just bring it on.
Exactly.
That would be awesome. What about you guys? Anything that you want to share? Where do you want to send people besides walking in the doors on 15th Street
6th Avenue North.
North? Besides walking people in here, you have an Instagram, you have a Facebook, anything else?
Just our website. Everything is roadhousegf.com. That's our website. Roadhouse GF is also how you find us on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
Always follow us there because we're always posting up just different stuff. It's not just we just don't grind out, here's our special, here's our special. We try to have fun. We have fun with customers. We have fun with photos, and we just we try to make it have a little more rich content. So it's worth following us there. And
Bloopers.
yeah,
Yeah, you
and
get bloopers, you get
Bloopers.
like random customers and their fun experiences. You get to
Yes.
see McCafferty beef
Yes.
and when they eat here. And then also I noticed that you guys share other people's stuff too. So when they come into the
Yes.
Roadhouse and they're taking pictures of their fun that they're having here, you guys will share that up there too. So if you guys are out there and you just want to get shared, right?
Yeah.
You want somebody to hear you. Come to the Roadhouse, share a picture, taking a big old bite of an
and
amazing burger.
and this is the place to be. And
Yeah.
the other last thing that I'll throw in there is we're running out of these cards, so we have a special rewards card for
Road Crew.
for next year. Yeah, the Roadhouse Road Crew. So if you come in. If you come in now before the 31st, you'll get this card when you dine in, or do your takeout order. You can come get a card too. You're going to get a free drink for every time you dine in all through 2022, and that's part of the Road Crew. And then if you sign up for the Road Crew emails, then you'll get specials like exclusive things that we call the secret menu item stuff. So you'll only get secret menu item stuff if you sign up for the emails. So we're trying to make this cool little exclusive club, help people out, give them a free drink when they come in and dine in all through 2022. It's our way of telling our customers, that we're thankful for their business and we appreciate
Absolutely.
it, and we want to give something a little back to them, a little rewards program. And so you can come in and get that card anytime between now and when we run out, which will probably be before the end of the year, and then it starts on January 1st.
And so I knew about this and haven't made it in yet to get my card. So I was like, I've got to get in. And then I saw the post on Instagram that showed the multi-pass holder.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, I'm coming in right now. And then I read the post and it's like, doesn't include multi-pass holder.
Yeah,
and I was like,
I had to put that on there. That was from one of our awesome customers, James
Yes.
Bamfield, who
Also known as Ghostbuster.
yeah, when he drove the Ecto, the Great
Yes.
Falls Ecto one here. And dressed up in his jumpsuit and
Yep.
came in when the Ghostbusters special was going. He's a great guy. He was involved with the Great Falls Gaming Rendezvous. He's he's a nerd like everybody else. But he showed up to give us a multi-pass holder, which was hilarious.
The Fifth Element is one of my favorite movies.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So the words.
Multi-pass.
It went through my brain. That scene was like in my brain.
It's a multi-pass, honey.
It's a multi-pass. She knows it's a multi-pass. Bruce Willis. Crazy. Well, we've been trying to do this podcast for a couple months, but you guys are so busy. It's hard to get 4 people together.
Oh, yeah.
That don't live in the same house. And so we just appreciate it. We definitely,
Thank
we know
you.
that you're trying to get ready to open.
Yeah.
Joe's got a show here in like 22 minutes. We've got things going on. We appreciate the time.
We appreciate you guys
thank you.
inviting us over. So
Yeah.
thank you very much. We like it, and it's good to talk with you guys. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys were able to come in, and we finally got.
Get a little behind the
Got caught
scenes
up.
Roadhouse Diner style.
Yeah.
Right. And you mentioned the thing coming up.
Yes.
Very, very vague.
There's
Very
a thing.
vague.
Yeah.
There's a thing.
And so
Very vague.
so maybe after this thing happens, we'll just come in and do
Yes.
like a short,
Yes.
a short thing just to
Absolutely.
discuss the thing.
You
whatever
realize
the
how
thing is.
Jason went
Yeah.
into our next special. Well, and for our
Yeah,
next
I
special,
had to deflect.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
see.
no, he
Yes.
immediately he was like, I don't want any more questions.
because my
Yeah.
husband knows that I love to spread the happiness and excitement.
It's like we're going to have to change the subject quickly.
Yeah, and so stay tuned.
Yes.
Coming soon. Can we say coming soon?
2022.
Yes.
2022. Pay attention.
Yeah.
Pay attention to the Roadhouse.
8 days
Coming
from now.
soon to you in 2022.
Yes.
All right. Anything else, Joe?
Nah, I'm good.
That's it, man.
All right.
I had fun.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank
all
you,
for
Great
listening.
Falls, for listening.
Yes.
Appreciate that as well.
And everyone
So,
have an amazing day.
And Merry Christmas to you all. I've been Brian.
I've been Joe.
We'll see you next show.
Well, we hope you enjoyed that episode of The Last Best Conversation with Jason and Tara from Roadhouse Diner. I know we did. And stay tuned. We are going to have Joe and Bryon on our podcast as guests in the new year. So until we see your bright, smiling, shining, happy face here in Great Falls, we hope you're creating amazing memories wherever you are. Bye-bye.
We are No Dam Experts is the recorded claims from Great Falls, Montana, covering what you need to know about this amazing damn town. Damn, that felt good.
On the next episode of We're No Dam Experts, Rebecca and Maudie share with you the latest about the 2022 Glacier National Park ticketing system. We're No Dam Experts is produced by Great Falls, Montana Tourism with original music by the best dam musician, Joel Corda.